Super Pre-Release is now done and dusted, and so begins the final stretch of the big wait for the full game to truly release in December. But now some of us are lucky enough to have cards to play with to take the edge off the wait. And so too begins the starter deck format. While some struggle to get one deck at all, there are some other people who were able to get 2 copies of at least one deck, and therefore can upgrade their decks in order to be better off in the starter deck battles for the next 2 months. In this video, I'll be talking through how to upgrade and get the best from your Straw Hat deck. I will be operating on the assumption that you have 2 copies of the deck and you have a few copies of the promos as well. Also, to be perfectly clear, the free demo decks aren't legal for play. So don't even think about using that stuff in your decks unless it's just for friendlies and use of proxies. They have demo printed across them, and that's how you know you can't use them. While the Straw Hat deck was largely considered the worst choice for the Super Pre-Release event, now that we can change a few things around in it, it has the potential to be much, much better. One of its biggest flaws was that it has too many cards in it that doesn't have counter power, making it rather defenseless, as well as only 2 copies of Guard Point and 2 of Brook. It also only has 2 copies of its only removal, Jet Pistol. The first thing I would recommend doing is bumping up Brook and Guard Point up to 4. Thousand Sunny can also be increased as at 2. I feel like it doesn't get seen enough, but if you already have 1 on board, drawing another one will be a dead card in hand, so I'm going to say just bump it up to 3. Increase Jet Pistol to 3 or 4, and then of course the obvious move is to increase Luffy and Zoro, but you need to be careful. They don't have counter power, and we want less cards in the deck that don't have counter power, ideally. Our only other thing we can add in are the promos. There's the 6 cost Luffy has 7,000 power, no counter power, and it only gets Rush with 2 Don attached. So the starter deck version is better in my opinion, but without access to the set 1 Zoro yet, if we want to go balls to the wall Rush with this deck, this is our only additional choice we can put in. I Can Smell Adventure is a very Pokemon-like effect of an event card. Activate main to return all the cards in your hand to your deck and then draw the same number of cards. It sounds kind of useless, but think about how many cards in this deck have no counter power. There will be times where, as much as you would like those cards in your hand to use in your next turn, you won't be in a position to survive the next turn, so this card could potentially save you shuffling all the counterless cards back into your deck and hopefully drawing something that you can use to defend. What cards can we take out to fit in the additions that we want to make? My first instinct is Karu and Usopp. Sorry Usopp, but I don't think you're very good in this card. These cards do have counter power though, so don't be too quick to get rid of them. I think the first move should be to minimize the counterless characters, and so sadly, as much as I do like the card, I think Jinbei's got to go. Diable Jambe can be very useful when you're going for game and there's a blocker in the way, but if you're going to save it for that moment, I think it will be okay to drop it down to just 1 copy. I probably wouldn't drop Sanji. He's very good, especially in combination with Nami and the leader ability, but there could be an argument to dropping him down to 2 or to 0 in order to fit in the other Luffys, the Rush Luffys. That may depend on how it feels to you in your testing. So this is the list that I've come up with. As you can see, I've added in 2 of the Rush Luffy promo, 1 of the starter deck version, and 1 of the Zoro, and I've dropped Sanji by 1, and I've dropped Jinbei completely. And so in total, this only changes my counterless cards by 1. But I've also put in Brook at 4, so that's going to be a lot more value countering because that's 2,000 power instead of 1,000 power, so that could do the job of 2 cards. And Guard Point is at 4 now as well, so that's a lot more defensive power. I've put an extra copy of Jet Pistol in, and an extra copy of the Thousand Sunny, and I've put in 2 copies of I Smell Adventure, for the reason that I said, so I can shuffle my hand if it's bad and I need some more defense in it. And I've dropped Diable Jambe down to 1, just so I only have the 1 copy that I need when I'm going for game. Dropped Usopp down to 2. He's only really good value if you get to play him on trigger, and obviously dropping him down to 2 makes it even less likely, but he's always useful as counter power. So there you have it. Hopefully this video helps you upgrade in your Luffy deck and helps you going forward in the starter deck format. If you want to see videos like this for the other 3 starter decks, make sure to subscribe because I will be making those soon. And you can follow me on Twitter at HackyLessons, and I'll see you later.